Essa daqui é a segunda parte dessa história com a Topaz em Belobog. Então, se você não viu o primeiro vídeo que eu postei, vou estar deixando aí no card, mais a playlist de todos os vídeos de Star Rail que eu já fiz. Então é isso, né? Deixa um like, se inscreva no canal e simbora continuar com a história. Então, Brownie, o que aconteceu?
Welcome back. I appreciate your help more than I can express. It couldn't have been easy running all over the city.
That's what friends are for, Branya. You don't sound like yourself. Is something wrong?
I'm fine. I haven't rested in a while. There's just too much happening all at once.
Bom, você não podia ter previsto que isso ia acontecer, né? Para começo de conversa.
Perhaps, but the IPC won't wait for me to catch up. They're moving quickly. Belobog is crawling with their agents. All they talk about is asset evaluation. The silver lining is that apart from the mine incident you mentioned, there haven't been any major conflicts in other areas. I suppose Topaz must have issued an order against harassing the citizenry. Still, that hasn't stopped panic from building. People are confused. They don't know where these strangers in black came from, nor what their intentions are.
Did you manage to get in touch with Topaz again? We're curious to know what solution she has in mind.
That's the reason I asked for you to come here. I need your advice. Look.
Tá.
It's...
Tá ilegível. Você pode traduzir pra mim, por favor, jogo?
The contract Topaz sent to me a little while ago. There's a handwritten letter attached. Please, take a look at the contents. And then tell me your thoughts.
Miss Branya, if you'll permit me to call you that, I'd like to share a story with you from my own life. In your eyes, the IPC may seem heartless or cruel, but in reality, we all have a story to tell. As for myself, I was born on a small, unremarkable planet at the edge of the galaxy, a place whose name is known only to the native inhabitants.
Não era que tá escrevendo, é o bichinho aqui, mano, agora que eu fui perceber, oxi.
My home planet was extremely resource poor. To survive, people worked laboriously, manufacturing products for other civilizations in the galaxy, mostly in chemical or heavy industries. Given these circumstances, the natural environment of my home planet became increasingly harsh. I don't recall the exact moment when it happened, but people started wearing respirators just to walk down the street. All you could hear were the wheezing coughs of the people, day and night. My home was facing its demise. The relatively wealthy chose interstellar migration and started anew. The majority who stayed could only struggle on amidst sewage, acid rain, and dust, waiting for the end. Finally, one fateful day, the IPC arrived on my home planet. They had the technology to repair our planet's damaged environment. In return for their help, they asked for just one thing: that all inhabitants sign a contract which would make them employees of the IPC.
Olha, esse não me parece muito justo não, moça. Você vai me
2
desculpar aí.
years after signing the contract, the dark clouds and haze disappeared, and people began to take off their masks. After 3 years, vegetation and trees began to grow and thrive again. After 5 years, many animals, previously on the brink of extinction, reappeared. When I was finally old enough, I officially became a member of the Strategic Investment Department. I witnessed the changes that took place on my home world, and was determined to bring the same changes to many other worlds in the galaxy that were experiencing the same plight. I am writing to you, Miss Branya, with the genuine desire to express something important. I know freedom is precious to people, but in reality, there are things of much greater value, such as survival. How many generations of Belobogians will it take to embrace the stars again without assistance? Who can guarantee that every future Guardian will be as prudent and enlightened as you? How can you guarantee that a disaster such as the Stellaron crisis will not descend upon Belobog yet again? I have already negotiated the best possible deal for you. Once you sign this contract, all of Belobog's debts will be forgiven. In addition, the IPC will set up a special team to support the reconstruction of Urilo 6. I can understand that for you, this is an extremely difficult decision because you and you alone will bear the fate of all Belobogians. But because of this, I believe that you will make the right decision.
Her words do sound quite sincere. What do you make of it?
Bom, ela sabe usar as palavras, né?
Yes, she is a high-ranking member of the IPC, after all. She knows how to use words to her advantage. In any case, she wasn't wrong when she said this would be an extremely difficult decision. This planet's fate, the civilization it carries, everything that's happened here and everything that will happen, it all rests in my hands.
A gente resolveu o bagulho lá do Estalaurão, aí do nada chega essa bomba aí da CPI querendo roubar o planeta pra eles, né?
This definitely can't.
Coitada, ela só sofre.
Be a decision made by me alone.
Você não pergunta pra outras pessoas?
That thought has crossed my mind, and it comforts me to hear you say that.
Imagina.
Right.
É
I don't
justo,
think
ué.
it's fair for you to carry the weight alone. Why not discuss it with others first?
Topaz hasn't given me much time to consider. She wants me to decide as soon as possible. I wanted to put it to a vote, and let all the citizens of both the overworld and the underworld have their say. But with such little time, I'm afraid that's a lost cause. I'll convene the Klapoth Fort architects immediately to discuss the contract. As for the locals, I'd like you to gauge their stance on the matter.
Beleza.
The people of Belobog hold both of you in high regard. They'll most certainly be willing to tell you their thoughts.
Vamos correr contra o tempo, simbora.
Yes, we need to move fast.
We've got your back. We failed to convince Topaz, but this should be a piece of cake.
Thank you, March. I'll assemble the ministers. Let's meet up here again later.
All right. If we want to make an informed decision, we need to hear from both the overworld and the underworld, right? Let's start with the overworld.
Junte opiniões sobre os moradores de cima sobre a Topaz. Aí tem aqui o contador de que quem concorda e quem discorda. Tá, primeiro a Serval.
Well, look who we have here. You and Marge paying us a visit. What's the occasion?
Olha, não tem boa, moça, só...
Uh-oh. Sounds like something serious is happening. You'd better fill me in. What? How is that possible? I need a moment to wrap my head around this.
Serval, we're racing against the clock. No time for head wrapping.
It's okay. I've thought it through. If it were up to me, I'd sign the contract.
What? Hold on, are you serious? I thought you'd be against it for sure.
Surprised? My reasons are pretty simple. Signing this contract would mean we no longer have to worry about surviving. For most of the residents here, especially those in the underworld, as for working for the company, people need to work no matter where they are, right? If the IPC tries to take too many liberties, we can always rise up against them.
Faz sentido.
You know, I've always longed for the stars since I was a child, which is why I devoted myself to science and the studying of the Stellaron. If someone told me that I could do whatever research I wanted with only a small price to pay, I probably wouldn't hesitate.
I see. I suppose that makes sense. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion.
É voto a favor, né?
We meet again. How have you two been? Uh-oh. That look on your face tells me something's wrong. I hope it's nothing too serious.
Nada sério? Infelizmente é muito sério.
Sounds serious. I'm all ears, really. You better not be making things up.
I wish it were made up. Unfortunately, it's all true. We don't have much time, Kayla. Branya wants to get everyone's opinion.
Wait, you're telling me I have to make this huge decision on the spot? At least give me a few seconds to think it over. Okay, I think I've got it. If it were up to me, I'd probably agree to the IPC's conditions.
Ah, mais a favor.
Huh. Okay. Any particular reason?
I've looked at some of the climate reports, and based on the data I've seen, it'll take 3 or 4 more generations for the snow to completely subside.
Nossa, 3 ou 4 gerações, meu Deus.
And that's assuming no other disasters occur. I care more about those in the present than a future I can't be sure of. If the IPC is able to bring about immediate change, then I think that's a price well worth paying. Building a better world for future generations sounds great, right? But is it any fun for the engineers and architects who are directly involved in such a pursuit?
I see. So compared to a distant and uncertain future, what you really care about is making sure the people around you have a good life. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion.
Ok.
Is that the Trailblazers? It's been a while. I didn't think you'd be back in Belobog so soon. It's been pretty hectic in the city lately. All these people dressed in black suddenly showed up, and even the Silvermane guards have had trouble dealing with them.
Opinião.
Do you need my opinion? I'm happy to help. So that's who they are. It's worse than I imagined. The Madam Guardian must be under a lot of pressure. Is there really nothing we can do to assist her?
We're here to gather everyone's opinion on the matter. I know this is a little sudden, but we're running out of time. What's your take?
Why, I'd refuse the contract, of course. There is no room for compromise. Just look at them. Arrogant, stomping around here as if they own the place. How can such people be trusted? Who's to say they won't breach the contract? Faced with this sort of coercion, we must resist them with all our might. Surrendering is not an option. You must warn the Madam Guardian not to allow herself to fall into their trap.
A soldier's perspective is always valuable, Dun. Thanks for your input. I'll make a note of your opinion. Did we miss anyone?
Todas as
in the
falas até agora
overworld?
são bem
I
justas.
think we asked just about everyone we needed to. From what I've gathered, it seems like most people in the overworld are leaning towards signing the IPC's contract. We'd better hurry to the underworld and see what Natasha and Zila make of it all.
Oi, Natasha, quanto
What brings you
tempo?
two to the underworld? And why the long face? Seems a little out of the blue, but since you came all this way, it must be urgent. Go ahead. That is a lot of information to take in. Sorry, both of you. I know you're in a hurry, but I need a moment to think.
No stress, Nat. Just tell us what you really think.
I've thought about it, and... well, if I were Bronya, I wouldn't sign it. I won't deny the offer on the table is a very tempting one. And if we refuse, Belobog will not only have the burden of a huge debt, we may also incite the wrath of a very powerful force. But even so, a quote I read back in school came to me just now. Those who are willing to give up freedom for security will end up with neither.
Pior que isso aqui faz sentido, né? Você querer abrir mão da sua liberdade para ganhar segurança, nem sempre você acaba conseguindo segurança. Então você fica, né, sem nada,
Living in the
basicamente.
underworld has taught me that this phrase is true. I'd rather trek through the frigid snow plains than live in a beautiful cage.
Wow, that's a pretty convincing argument. Another vote for the against pile. Thanks for your insight, Nat.
None other than the saviors of Belobog. To what do I owe the pleasure? To be honest, I'm surprised you even remembered an old geezer
Ah lá,
like
é
me.
claro que eu lembro, pô. Claro que eu lembro de você.
I can tell by the look on your faces you're probably not dropping by to say hi.
É uma opiniãozinha.
Let me guess. Something to do with these unruly people in black showing up everywhere?
Yes.
Well,
Eles
ask
mesmo.
away. It just so happens I'm curious about them myself. Maybe I can be of some help. I see. That's a tricky situation, all right. A lot for anyone to handle, let alone someone as young as Lady Bronya.
Mr. Oleg, out of all the people we know in Belobog, you have the most life experience. What do you think we should do?
Want to hear the truth? I'm afraid great ambitions and lofty plans no longer hold much appeal for an old-timer like me. If this IPC does indeed possess the magical power to restore Belobog back to its former self overnight, then I think the answer is clear. Have you considered the opposite? What about if we refuse? The reconstruction plan already sounds like an endless endeavor. And with the added burden of a massive debt, well, is that something we can manage on our own?
É, faz sentido.
What worries me the most is how Lady Bronya will handle the backlash from her people. Will she be able to withstand the criticism? Is she prepared to carry the weight of a tarnished reputation for years to come?
A última guardiã.
Huh. I guess I never looked at it from that angle. I wouldn't wish that title on anyone. Thank you for your thoughts, Mr. Oleg. Another vote for the 4 pile.
E realmente, né, tipo, quando eu vi os vazamentos, né, antes dessa atualização chegar, eu fiquei pensando, cara, esses bichos são muito iguais aos robôs de Belobog. Aí tá explicado, né, porque os bichos eles foram construídos com a mesma tecnologia, só que a de Belobog é mais arcaica.
March, Big Brother, what brings you to the underworld?
Hey there, Clara. Is Svarog not around?
Mr. Svarog went out for a walk with a lady called Topaz.
What? Topaz? Do you know where they went?
I'm not sure, but Mr. Svarog promised he'd be back soon.
What now? Svarog's super logical. We should definitely get his opinion.
A opinião da Clara é tão importante quanto.
True. Don Hung's always saying that Clara's really insightful for her age.
Huh? Miss March, do you want to ask me something?
É porque o Svarog a gente já sabe que o cara concordou, né? Vamos ver o que a Clara vai falar.
That's complicated. I don't know what to say.
It's all right, Clara. No pressure. Just tell us how you feel about it.
I think if we have a choice for the future, it should be everyone's decision. Because when I was playing with Hook, the moles, and the other kids, we talked about our dreams. Everyone has different dreams. If we accept Miss Topaz's offer, then doesn't that mean our dreams will never come true?
Tem isso, né? Tipo, é que nem... É exatamente isso, tipo... a gente vai aceitar o contrato da Topaz, vamos virar empregado da CPI. Não se sabe se vai tudo virar escravo da CPI ou não, né? Só o tempo vai dizer isso aí. E ainda por cima tem essa, né? Tipo, cada uma das pessoas tem os seus sonhos. Então, se eles assinarem esse contrato, vai todo mundo virar máquina.
Just taking away people's dreams like that. I don't know. It feels wrong.
You're right. Children see the world as a place where anything is possible. Just the thought of our lives being predestined from birth makes me shiver. Thanks, Clara. Your thoughts mean a lot to us.
Oi, moça, como é que tá a situação? Você pode dar uma palavrinha aqui rapidão?
Back so soon? Any news? Are you feeling all right? You look a little uneasy. Important matter, huh? I can tell from your tone that this isn't gonna be a lighthearted chat. But I'm ready to hear it. I think I get it. At first, I thought it was just a few IPC ruffians overstepping their boundaries.
Yeah, you didn't think the future of Belobog was at stake, right?
Right. I need a little time to process this.
As it stands, the votes are even. Your opinion will make all the difference.
In that case, I abstain.
What?
Podia ter a opção aqui de tipo, beleza, se você não quer voltar, aí é ok, né? Mas por que eu tenho que insistir pra ela voltar?
I thought about it. This responsibility rests on Bronya's shoulders, not mine. No matter the choice she makes, she has far greater foresight than I do. She can see the bigger picture more clearly than I can. The vote is tied. If I were to give you my view, it would tip the scales and possibly impact her final choice. I'll respect whatever decision she makes, but it's not my place to make it for her.
Understood, Zila. This is a difficult decision to make, and everyone feels differently about it. It's times like these that a leader must stand up and do what's needed.
Right. It's Bronya's decision. She knows what's at stake. She won't run away from her duty. I trust her wholeheartedly. If she asks you, just let her know my reasoning. She'll understand. Back so soon? Any news?
Ah, que legal, eu posso pegar pra tocar os áudios de novo, que legal. Eu achei que era só o texto mesmo. Legal essa funçãozinha aqui que eles colocaram, mano, achei legal.
Well, it's all in Bronya's hands now. She has to make the final call.
Bom, ela é fundamental, né?
Right? I'm glad Belobog has someone like her in charge. The time has come. Let's go fill her in. I'm curious to see how she's handling those Klapoth ministers. Whoa, the fort's packed. I've never seen this many people here before.
Tá lotadaço.
Jeez, I can barely even hear myself think.
Isso aqui seria os arquitetos ou é o povo vindo reclamar com a Bronya? Bronya, a gente voltou, Bronya.
March, you're back. So, what's the verdict? What do the people think?
We talked to people in both the overworld and the underworld. The final result was a tie.
I see. I suppose everyone has their own way of seeing things. I can't say I'm surprised. What was Zila's perspective on the matter?
Ela achou que não devia decidir isso, né?
I should have known. That sounds like Zila, all right.
Did you come to a conclusion with the ministers? Oh, it's so loud I can't tell what anyone's saying.
It's pretty much the same situation here. Neither party is willing to compromise. The time has come to make a decision. This chaos cannot be allowed to continue any longer.
Eu já assisti, mas ó, vai aparecer na tela aqui já já, ó. Ah lá, ela, a nossa ruiva maravilhosa, ela apareceu pra salvar o dia.
But aren't you?
Himeko? Wait, is that the real you or a hologram?
Holograma.
It's the real me, March. Real as they come.
Miss Himeko, from the Astral Express? It's an honor. Thank you for all your help in our previous campaign. Things might have turned out differently without your support. If we had known of your arrival beforehand, the architects would have given you a proper welcome. I'm afraid the current circumstances are quite exceptional.
I understand, Miss Bronya. No need to explain. Your city is facing immense difficulties. My intention is simply to ensure that you have all the relevant intel.
E você tem uma solução pra gente, moça? Diz que tem, vai.
I hesitate to call it a solution, but I might have some information that might help. It is my hope that with this information, you will be better equipped as the Supreme Guardian to make a wise and informed decision.
Information? Please, tell me what you know, Miss Himeko.
I happen to have a friend with knowledge of Topaz. What Topaz said about her home world is indeed true, which is why she believes that the IPC's takeover of Belobog is the only way of ensuring the city's survival. But there is one thing she intentionally left out. Not all worlds that have accepted the IPC's terms have been saved.
Imaginei.
You mean?
Performing ecological reconstruction on a planet carries inevitable risks. According to the intel provided by my friend, the success rate for the ecological reconstruction of worlds using the IPC's technology is 63%.
Only 63% of planets succeed? That's not exactly comforting.
A Topaz foi bem sortuda então, porque conseguiram salvar o planeta dela, mas 63%. Cara, que valor.
This is the overall average across all IPC projects. The success rate of projects personally handled by Topaz is above 80%. She's undoubtedly one of the most capable people in her field. I wanted to bring these numbers, these probabilities, to light. I think it's only fair that you know all the facts before making a decision. Ultimately, it's up to you, Supreme Guardian, to make the final call.
I understand. Thank you, Miss Himiko. This information is of great help. Regardless of how alluring their promises may be, this contract is nothing more than a gamble. As a leader, I cannot let the future of Belobog hinge on a roll of the dice.
Ah, mas você... Calma aí, moça, mas você quase aceitou o contrato ali agora há pouco, hein? Só porque agora você viu números, tá certo que o que, né? O texto da estatística já é um bagulho diferente, mas pô, você quase aceitou o bagulho, velho. Sem nem saber dos números.
Now that you've decided, I don't have to pretend to be impartial anymore. I think you're making the right choice, Bronya.
Astral friends, I have an idea, but for it to work, I'll need everyone's cooperation. I need some time to rally all the residents in the city, and then I'll meet with Topaz again. Please locate her for me. It doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing. And if the IPC is still trying to take over Belobog's assets, I ask that you do everything in your power to stop them.
Don't worry. Leave it to us. We'll find her. It won't be easy dealing with her, but these two will help me get the job done.
Vambora.
Belobog's future is not for sale. And we'll never forget the friends who stood by us in our time of need. Not once, but twice. Stay safe, everyone.
Obrigado, moça. Ainda bem que você fez a escolha certa. A gente pode conversar por aqui, Gepard, e dividir seu relatório com a tripulação. Quanto mais detalhes, melhor, né? Tá, basicamente o que ele disse foi isso, né? Eles foram montar uma guarda ali na vila pra deter o avanço da CPI, só que a Topaz pegou aquele tablete de Sekai dela e fez uns paranauês e mandou os robôs tudo contra eles. E o Svarog tá com ela, né? E tipo, o Svarog quer brigar com a gente de novo? Eu espero que não. Meus instintos me dizem que é algo a mais por trás disso, mas eu não sei o certo ainda. E agora a gente vai atrás da... essa mulher aí, velho.
Here we go again. Back to our old stomping grounds for another adventure.
The Supreme Guardian has briefed me on the situation and asked that I assist you in locating Topaz. Ready to enter Rivet Town? We'll go in together when everyone is set.
Agora, simbora.
Keep your guards up. We might run into IPC agents ahead.
Destination reached.
Mano, eu achei que quem ia construir esses telões aqui é a CPI, velho. O que você tá fazendo aqui?
Wow, would you look at that? I never would have guessed it'd be here. But I don't see any mech or weapons. This place is completely surrounded by mountains. Surely they can't be.
Affirmative. The weapons are concealed within the towering rock formations.
No wonder we couldn't find the automaton factory. It was right under our noses all along. Wait a minute. You said these weapons have been hidden here from the very beginning? That means the architects of Eurillo 6 never used them in their fight against the Legion.
Correct. After the IPC departed from this world more than 700 years ago, no one has possessed the necessary knowledge for activating these weapons. The architects used the IPC blueprints to construct replica automatons. However, the overwhelming majority of the combatants, commanded by Elisa Rand, were human.
I see. The stories about this world are truly captivating.
I would like to ask you a question, Topaz.
You're awful polite for a big robot. Ask.
If the IPC does not intervene, this world is doomed. Are you convinced of this conclusion beyond any doubt?
Yes. I've gone through countless case studies, and they all point to the same conclusion. Any world that comes into contact with a Stellaron is doomed. On the surface, things may appear to be getting better since the Astral Express lent a helping hand. But sooner or later, the underlying problems will resurface. A looming crisis can often lie hidden beneath the illusion of prosperity. unnoticed by many.
Understood.
Understood. That's it? You don't have any thoughts on the matter?
Emotional readings indicate that your response is sincere and accurate. That is all I wish to confirm regarding this matter. While my opinion on the future of this planet may differ from yours, it ultimately holds no weight. I am merely a tool, not a decision maker.
If only my colleagues had the same self-awareness as you. Come on, Numby. We've got some assessing to do.
Topaz disappeared after leaving Rivet Town. In her absence, her subordinates flooded in and took over.
The IPC soldiers are well equipped. It wouldn't be wise to fight them head on. Captain, what do you have in mind?
You're right, Miss Himiko. We'll be using the automaton stealth bomb to cover our tracks.
Automaton stealth bomb?
I'll explain later. Let's get moving.
Você não vai me fazer tomar essa bomba aí não, né, moça? O famoso suco. Essa bomba aí é o que eu...
It's the IPC.
Essa bomba aí é aquela lá do... aquela que o shampoo usa na ultimate dele.
Keep noise to a
Seria
minimum,
engraçado se fosse.
everyone. We don't want to alert the enemy to our presence.
Robozinho tá andando com a gente.
It's time to deploy the automaton stealth bomb. Use the automaton stealth bomb to wipe out the IPC threats.
Tudo
Remember,
pronto.
try to avoid being noticed. Remaining hidden will increase our chances of success.
Oh, vou usar o robozinho, que legal. Ao controlar o robô, pressione o botão de ataque para ativar a autodetonação e atordoar todos os inimigos. Contudo, se o autômato não atordoar todo mundo de uma vez só ou for descoberto, o desafio vai ser fracassado. Tente evitar a linha de visão e use corrida para se aproximar dos inimigos de uma vez só. Ai, que legal, mano. Eu tô usando o robozinho. Curti. Toma.
Você quer explodir?
Tô me vingando. Agora os...
Oh, wow! We wiped them all out in a single explosion! That's what you call efficiency!
It's a shame we had to resort to this method, but we had no choice.
You Silvermane guards sure are a righteous bunch.
Tipo, finalmente estou me vingando por esses robôs malditos virem me enfrentar. Agora eu é quem controlo eles. KKKKK.
Parece que o jogo virou, não é mesmo?
Bem legal. Curti a mecânica.
I've seen standard issue robots like these before. It's an IPC field team leader.
Correct. The exterior is similar to the Grizzly, but its weapons and armor are more advanced. Hopefully the automaton stealth bomb will still be effective. Let me know when you're ready.
Eu acho que eu vou esperar esse cara colar ali de novo, aí eu tento explodir os dois de uma vez. Eu saio correndo pra lá. Ah, vai indo, vai. Corre. Sucumba! Ih! Ela bugou ali a animação, mas tá tudo tranquilo. Pelo menos explodiram.
To be honest, I didn't think it would be so powerful. Good thing everything went according to plan.
Achei que fosse ter tanto poder.
This is the road that Topaz took when she left Rivet Town.
Let's find her and tell her about Bronya's decision.
This time, the gloves are off. Mr. Svarog? Are you alright? I hope Topaz and her IPC henchmen didn't hurt you.
Greetings, outsiders. System functions are normal. I have had no conflict with the IPC's representatives.
Por um segundo eu achei que a gente ia sair na mão.
Such a result would be highly undesirable. Topaz is ahead. She had the means to force me to comply with her orders, but chose not to. From her perspective, the only way to preserve Belobog is by incorporating it into the IPC. While I do not agree with her viewpoint, I lack the computational power to provide evidence to the contrary. While it is unlikely, I still encourage the avoidance of any potential conflicts.
Unlikely potential? Meaning there could still be conflicts.
Sim,
Don't worry
infelizmente.
much. The Express never pursues conflict as a first means. But if it comes down to it, we won't back down either.
Himiko's right. As long as we can look at ourselves in the mirror and know we did the right thing.
Oh, hey there, Slowpokes. I was
Lerdezas.
starting to think you weren't gonna show up. This lady next to Miss March looks oddly familiar.
Pleasure to meet you, Miss Topaz. I'm Himiko, the Astral Express's navigator.
Oh, wow. I remember now. The illustrious Miss Himiko. Some of my colleagues dream about meeting you.
Ela é tão famosa assim.
Of course. The Nameless have quite the reputation. You're following in the footsteps of the great Akavili, after all.
I'm pleased to see how well everyone's been getting along. Topaz, based on your greeting, I presume you have a good grasp of the current situation?
Of course. The deadline has already passed, but Bronya still hasn't signed the contract. I think I can guess what's holding her back.
Please, don't misunderstand us, Miss Topaz. We have no intention of opposing the IPC or its board of directors. But we have very dear friends on Eurillo 6. Standing idly by and watching them sign an unfair contract goes against everything the Nameless are about.
Miss Himeko, sorry for interrupting, but this doesn't sound like
Não
a
parece uma
negotiation.
negociação.
We needn't waste our time, March. She made her decision 10 minutes ago.
There's no fooling the Astral Express. You're absolutely right. Differing views don't necessarily mean one person is right and the other is wrong. However, to keep things moving forward, there's usually only one solution.
Ih, que cara foi essa?
Huh? Oh, what do you mean?
My superiors have granted me the approval I need.
Suas feras foram aprovadas.
Puxa vida, que gênio do humor você, hein?
I wish. So many eager faces. I won't keep you in the dark any longer.
É, vamos cair na porrada.
Approval to launch an attack on the members of the Astral Express. Incredible. No wonder the Astral Express is so highly regarded. Finished warming up? Now it's my turn.
Stop! All of you, put down your weapons.
Oi, Bronita.
Bronya! Oh, you're here just in time. Things were about to get out of control.
Supreme Guardian. I was starting to wonder whether you'd left the Express crew to fend for themselves. That would hardly be becoming of you.
I would never do such a thing. There was an important matter that required my attention.
More important than this?
Yes. I think you'll understand the significance once you see it. In short, I need you to help us evaluate our current progress.
Help you? That's interesting. I was under the impression you'd already decided to obstruct our operations here.
I have read your letter word for word, Miss Topaz. And your childhood experiences truly touched me. Your hometown once experienced a similar catastrophe to Eurillo 6. So I can understand your perspective on the issue and the position you have taken. It's because of this empathy you have that I still hold out a glimmer of hope. Despite all that's happened, I hope we can still find common ground through peaceful means.
I have to admit, talking to you is always such a pleasure. I apologize for my behavior just now. It was, inappropriate. I admire your determination. Seeing as we've come, this far, I've changed my mind. I'll hold off a little longer and see what you have to show me. But remember, winning over the higher-ups won't be easy.
Caraca, ela simplesmente, eu gosto muito de conversar com você, então me desculpa. Nossa, errei, fui moleca, né, basicamente. Ai.
I understand. That's why I've been taking things one step at a time. The first step was changing your mind. Members of the Express, we'll need your help too.
What is this place? We've never been here before, right?
We've only recently discovered this domain. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to show you is just ahead.
Caraca, cheio de prédio o bagulho, velho. Oxi. Tá, mas tipo, eles estão desconstruindo esse robozão gigante que a Cocolia inventou lá do nada contra a batalha dela lá na história? Não entendi. Me explique.
Do you two recognize that broken down machine over there?
Como não é reconhecer daquela mulher ruim lá?
Hey, shh, that's a secret.
It's called the Engine of Creation. Do you remember it?
Lembro.
Miss Topaz, I know you've done a lot of research into Belobog. I was wondering if there was any information on the Engine of Creation in your records?
Not at all. Which is why I find it so incredible. Such a massive feat of engineering, yet there's not a single mention of it in any of the Strategic Investment Department's reports.
I may know the reason why. The Engine of Creation was constructed solely by the people of Belobog, without any external assistance.
Tá.
The project was led by the first Supreme Guardian, Alyssa Rand. While warriors fought on the front lines, the engineers worked tirelessly behind the scenes, designing and constructing it.
So what you're saying is, the Engine of Creation was a weapon constructed by the Belobogians themselves?
Yes, but not entirely. The Engine of Creation was commissioned for combat shortly after its completion, and played a significant role in the battles against the Legion. But Alyssa Rand had a long-term vision, one that nobody anticipated. For a long time, this feat of engineering was codenamed the Geological Reconstruction Unit. It was actually given a much grander purpose: to help the Belobogians rebuild their homeland and restore their world to its former glory, after driving away all those who threatened it.
Remarkable. A vision that would transcend both time and generations of Belobogians. Madame Rand was truly an inspiring leader. Not to take away from the Supreme Guardian in front of me. She's quite the inspiring leader as well.
Thank you. But I didn't really do anything. All I did was bring the people of Belobog together and make them aware that our hard-earned freedom was under immense threat once again. If we want to preserve this freedom, we must act and show those who doubt us that we, Belobog, have the will and the ability to control our own destiny. The outcome of our mobilization speaks for itself. The children of Belobog have made their decision. They have chosen to preserve this homeland with their own two hands.
I must say, I didn't anticipate this at all. I'll fight for this opportunity for you, Branya. I shouldn't have conflated your own circumstances with my childhood. That was a serious lapse of judgment on my part. My world never had a resolute leader, so people gave up on the idea of saving themselves long ago. But your civilization has persisted through the snow and storms for 700 years. A truly admirable feat.
Then, are you willing to retract your previous decision? As for the debt, we'll find a way to gradually repay it. But it'll take some time.
Vai demorar pouquinho, vai ser só pouquinho.
Unfortunately, the acquisition of Eurilo 6 is a strategic decision that's been approved by the IPC's top brass. Even if I wanted to overturn it, convincing them would be extremely difficult. Unless...
A menos que...
Don't worry, Miss Topaz. Myself and all of the Nameless aboard the Astral Express are willing to vouch for this world.
Fantastic. That might just work. As for the, reports and potential accountability, I'll handle it.
É isso, deu tudo certo. E a Topaz é gente boa mesmo. Eu tô parecendo aquele clipe lá do Luffy. Ah, ela é uma boa pessoa, né? Não sei o que. Ah, ele é malvada. Agora ela é uma boa pessoa de novo. Tô exatamente assim, velho. Tá, Brumeta e Topaz. Salve.
Miss Topaz, you mentioned accountability.
Don't worry, it's nothing I can't handle. There are more important things than titles and ranks. Finding the best solution is what matters most.
Vamos cortar o seu salário, moça?
If that's what they want to do, then so be it. I've long passed the stage of working just for money.
Thank you so much for all you've done. I never thought we'd drag the Express into a crisis again. Much less one that might cause a rift between you and the IPC.
A rift? I wouldn't go that far. Also, it's me who's mostly to blame. I didn't keep my subordinates in check.
Se importa de falar bem de mim pro seu chefe, por favor?
Oh, thinking about a career change? Sure thing. I'll put in the best words I can.
I'm glad we're able to discuss some lighter topics. Well, you all need some rest after everything you've been through. I have arranged rooms for you all at the Goethe Hotel. Miss Topaz, if you need somewhere comfortable to stay.
I appreciate the offer, but I need to head back and deliver my reports. It's been great getting to know you both. I hope we can work together again in the future. Only next time under better circumstances.
Uma coisa que eu tava pensando, que tipo, cara, a história de Belobog, ela é tão infinitamente superior à história do Shenzhou. E tipo, eu lembro que eu falei que a história de Shenzhou era ok, mas que tinha vários furos de roteiro aqui e ali.
I've been wondering, how did you figure out what was happening here on Belobog, Himeko?
Vai ficar me cortando. Vai ficar me cortando.
Keeping an eye on the crew is just another part of a navigator's job.
Eu vou deixar eu falar isso no final, porque senão eu vou ficar sendo cortado de novo. Eu vou perder a paciência. Descansar, né? Que o pai não é de ferro.
Looking forward to the Soulworm Festival for ages. Looks like she's missed her chance this time. I never thought this trip would be so tiring. Time for bed.
In light of the events that have transpired, we will be taking the following disciplinary measures against you.
E ela tá... O que ela tá falando?
Your rank will be demoted from P45 to P44 with corresponding adjustment to your basic salary. All bonuses for the current cycle will be revoked, including stock options and performance bonuses. You will need to submit an additional report regarding this incident to Diamond. If you have any objections to this penalty, you may also file an appeal in writing.
I have no objections.
Understood. Is there anything else anyone would like to add? If there are no further remarks, this meeting is concluded.
You only got demoted one rank? Phew, you dodged a bullet there. Pretty big project to mess up on. Someone must be looking out for you. Oh, they've already left the call.
Outra voz?
Ugh, this voice changer is driving me crazy.
Let me turn it off.
Aventurine, why are you still on the line?
Aventurine.
Hey, what's with the hostility?
É alguém que a gente já conhece? Acho que não, né?
Oh, wait. I guess I am now. My apologies. I'm still getting used to my new place in the hierarchy.
Can I help you? If you've got something to say it already.
Oh, nothing important. Just checking in on you. I told you Eurillo 6 would be a high-risk, low-reward case. Why do you even bother? In our line of work, having a kind heart can be more of a liability than an asset. If you're not careful, you'll end up leading yourself down a dead-end road.
Anything else? If not, I'm hanging up.
Wait. Hold on a minute. Don't hang up. I get it. You're not in the mood for this conversation right now. Okay. How about this? Something that might interest you. While you were enjoying your playtime on Eurillo 6, Diamond was busy taking care of the head honcho of the Building Material Logistics Department. That's why he didn't attend today's meeting.
Ok.
Teravan?
That's right. The renowned Teravan. One of the 7 board members. He's throwing his support behind us instead of the marketing development department for once. Oswaldo won't be laughing anymore.
Citaram o Osvaldo.
Diamond's been a great help to both of us. Your antics on such a crucial day can't exactly have painted the strategic investment department in a good light, you know? Since you get the point, let's get down to business. I'm currently at Pierpoint. There's a major deal that could affect the whole department. I just so happen to need a reliable project manager for the job. What do you say, old friend?
Huh. And what prompted the mighty Aventurine to start collaborating with others?
Penacony. What else?
Vamos ver a Topaz de novo em Penacony. Oh, maravilha.
What?
That's right. Now that's the kind of reaction I was hoping for.
Hold on a minute. Diamond picked you for this project? I was expecting someone like Opal or Obsidian to handle it. At least someone higher than rank P46.
Honestly, who knows? The family has some pretty questionable characters. If you ask me, doing business with them is a lost cause. But as we both know, the IPC does more than just business deals. Guess it's my time to shine. So, how about it? This is a rare opportunity. Consider it. You never know, you might even be able to make up for your blunder on your Rillo 6.
I'll get back to you later. Seems like it's just one wild ride after another.
Já criando um hype aqui pra Penacony. Ok, legal.
I hope I made the right decision this time.
Ih! Olha o bichinho que a Topaz queria. Tá lá no museu.
The snow is mesmerizing.
Não sei se vai ter mais alguma coisa, né? Pera aí. Não, acabou. Antes de terminar esse vídeo aqui com a indo lá na Topaz e conversar com ela lá dentro do Expresso, só queria vir aqui na edição pra corrigir um pouco o que eu falei sobre a minha opinião sobre essa missão no geral. E tipo, cara, dá pra perceber, assim, acho que não só eu percebi isso. O Zera fez um vídeo falando sobre o assunto, que olha a diferença na história do Xianzhou pra Belobog. Dá pra perceber que cara, Belobog é um abismo de qualidade quando você compara com Xianzhou, porque Xianzhou foi extremamente confuso. Eu também não vou ser hipócrita e vir aqui falar que Xianzhou foi pura decepção, foi um lixo e tal, porque teve coisas legais aqui e ali, mas assim, vamos ser sinceros, né? O geral da história do Xianzhou foi bem abaixo da média, né? E olha que a gente saiu de um negócio que a história foi zica, né? A finalização da história de Belobog. Agora com essa continuação com a Topaz, que, pô, a Topaz é uma personagem extremamente carismática, cheia de personalidade. Ver esse negócio dela com a dívida de Belobog, vendo que eles contornaram o assunto, que não sei o que. Isso foi bem legal. E minha expectativa com o Penacony, ela tá bem alta, mas eu também tô com medo de que, possivelmente, né, esse escândalo que rolou aí com o Xianzhou aconteça mesmo com esse novo planeta. E eu espero que isso não aconteça, porque senão eu vou acabar perdendo a vontade de criar conteúdo pro jogo, né? Mas, enfim, né? Vamos ver aqui que o futuro nos aguarda, né? Mas eu acho que eu já dei uma boa pincelada no que eu queria falar, minha opinião aqui sobre a história no geral do Star Rail, né? Então, pra finalizar esse vídeo, vamos aqui só uma conversinha com a Topaz. Oi, Topaz.
Hey! It's my first time on the Astral Express. I've heard quite a bit about the hospitality of the Nameless. Shouldn't you be showing me around?
Tem razão, sinto muito.
I'm just messing with you. Lighten up. I'm definitely not the first IPC staff member to board the Astral Express. I've heard that the IPC and the Nameless cooperated frequently when Akavili the Trailblazer was still around. I've also heard that the board once considered spending a fortune to buy out the Astral Express and to make it part of their business. However, all their offers were quickly declined.
Caraca, os caras tentaram comprar a gente, velho. Malucos.
Just between you and me, I think declining the offers was a smart choice. Capital definitely plays a critical role in the universe. But if everything in the world revolved around it,
concordo, moço, concordo.
Life would be a lot less romantic.
Dinheiro pode trazer felicidade, mas nem sempre ele traz tanta felicidade assim, né? Pelo menos é o que eu acho. É isso, né? Agora que eu terminei isso aqui, eu vou talvez dar um pequeno foco nessa cacetada de missão de companheiro aqui que eu tenho pra fazer. Eu preciso me livrar disso aqui um pouco, porque eu tô ficando maluco já só de abrir essa aba todo dia. Eu abro esse negócio todo dia e eu fico com dor de cabeça só de ver tanta missão roxa aqui, velho. É isso, né? Esse vídeo vai ficando por aqui. Muito obrigado por ter assistido até agora. Deixa um like, se inscreva no canal e a gente se vê numa próxima.